Hey, good evening, everyone. Blitzball Champ is back with yet a new pro wrestling talk video here on the U to the Tube. Um, gonna talk a little bit of Stardom. Gonna talk some AEW. Gonna talk some New Japan Pro Wrestling. Um, and of course, gonna talk some WWE. But before I get started, though, I wanted to also mention that recently the pro wrestling world lost another pro wrestler as we lost Joseph Hudson, known as Josephus, also known as the question mark on NWA, recently passed away. And I didn't know that much about him outside of just seeing him on NWA Power a bunch of times. Of course, he was the question mark. I know that he was pretty entertaining. He was pretty entertaining. I just I can't say that I really know him well, but was pretty entertaining. His character as the question mark was pretty neat. So my condolences and prayers go out to him and his family. Um, lost another lost another good one. Lost another good one. But yeah. So he just recently passed away, and it was quite a bummer. But anyway, let's get started with some stardom. A couple of things I wanted to mention. So we're almost we're pretty much about to be at the end of Unaki Sayaka's 7 match trial series. She's wrestled 6 so far, and is about to soon wrestle the seventh and final match. So let's recap all that she's faced. So she's faced Julia, she's faced Azumi, she's faced Mayu Iwatani, she's faced Himeka, she's faced Konami, and she's faced B Priestley. Of course, all matches she's lost. And it's been announced that the seventh match will be against Shuri, which, dang, that's quite a final match for her. Which of course, I don't see her winning, but it really makes me wonder what really is the ultimate purpose of this, because you have her losing in all these matches. Which, don't get me wrong, she has a lot of heart, a lot of charisma, and she can go in the ring. I mean, these aren't just quick, short matches. But it's like you have her as 1/3 of the Artist of Stardom Trios champions. And her going through something like this and her losing every last one of those matches, like, what's the ultimate end goal for this and for her? I mean, I understand that they haven't really been able to defend the trios titles due to Mina Shirakawa being out injured with a broken nose, which she should be returning for the All Star Rumble March 3rd at All Star Dream Cinderella. But I don't really know what the end result of this is going to be. But she hasn't won any of these matches. And like I said, I don't think she will win the seventh one against Shuri either. So I don't know. That's just my whole take on it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm a fan of hers. She's my favorite member of the Cosmic Angels. I don't know. I just don't really see ultimately of what the point of this 7 match trial series is. But anyway, so pretty much one of the big major events that happened was Ruaka turning on Mayu Iwatani and defecting to Oedo Tai from Stars. Um, yeah, that I have to say, it really wasn't hard to spot considering the pre-match promo interview. I mean, Ruaka didn't even do the stars pose. She didn't even speak much. She looked like she was not even into the pre-match interview or anything like that. So, in a way, if you really paid attention, you could kind of tell something was up with her. Now, did I feel like it was going to ultimately translate into this? Maybe not off the top, but you put two and two together, it makes sense. But I figured something was up because she didn't do the stars pose or nothing during the pre-match interview. So, in a way, it was kind of a dead giveaway. But yeah, Ruaka turned on Mayu Iwatani, and Saki Kashima got the pin on Mayu Iwatani. Um, but yeah, it was a 8-woman tag match. But yeah, I just ooh, poor Mayu. Poor Mayu. I mean, seems like almost every time she turns around, somebody turns on her. I mean, if I remember correctly, I believe Io Shirai turned on her. Saki Kashima turned on her. Um, Tom didn't necessarily turn on her, but she left Stars and started her own unit. And now you have Ruka, and it's like, dang. Honestly, if you ask me, I feel like I really feel like Starlight Kid and Saya Ida, and even Arisa Hoshiki, were like the main three I feel like Mayu could trust the most. Especially Starlight Kid. They're like pretty much BFFs. But, I mean, this kind of sets Stars back. Because when you think about it, they only have 4 active members going right now. You got to remember, Jungle Kiona is still out injured. They say that Hanan is supposed to be returning, but who knows when that'll happen. And, I mean, Oedo Tai has the strength in numbers right now. I mean, especially with adding another member. And now Mayu has declared an all-out war against Oedo Tai. And honestly, I just don't see it turning out well for them. Something big would have to happen to really swing momentum in Star's favor. Because I'm sorry, with Mayu, Starlight Kid, Saya Ida, Gokiken Def, and I guess Hanan, against what Oedo Tai has, you know, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I just honestly, if you ask me, overall, I feel like Mayu Iwatani and Arisa Hoshiki were like the 2 strongest members of Stars, but now Arisa, she retired. She had to retire due to injury. I mean, that's not to look down on Starlight Kid. I like Starlight Kid, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how long this war lasts and what kind of things will happen to really give Stars some momentum. Because even with a returning Hanan, that's only 5 members. And, to be honest, out of those 5 members, really, Mayu's like the strongest one. And, with her being the leader, you know, I mean, not like I said, not to look down on Starlight Kid or Gokiken Def or Saya Ida, but it's like, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So, I just really, I really wonder what kind of things will happen as time passes during this war to really see what happens. You know, are there going to be any moves made that'll swing the momentum back into stars? Like, are they going to get a new member? Like, what's the scoop on Jungle Kiona? I don't even know how close or far off she is as far as a return, but I don't know. But it was interesting. It was very interesting. But yeah. So Oedo Stars, or excuse me, Oedo Tai. I don't know why I combined them. Oedo Tai now has Ruaka in their group. I mean, that's a lot of people. Her, Saki Kashima, Natsuko Tora, Konami, B Priestley. Um, yeah, that's a that's a tough group. It's a tough group. Don't know if Rina is coming back. I think she's injured, and then Sumire Natsu still out injured. But I mean, they still got a pretty strong group, you know, with the members that they have right now. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be really crazy. Um, and then apparently, Saya Ida defended her Future of Stardom title against Honori Hana, which is from another promotion, Seedling. I think I said that correctly, but it felt like after the match, Saya Ida kind of bullied her, like return to your promotion and do your best. You don't belong here on Stardom. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, Saya Ida, I mean, in non-title matches, you can't get victories. So I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But I mean, it was cool. It was cool. To see her defend the title again. But but yeah, we got a couple of more shows coming up as it gets close to All Star Dream Cinderella on March 3rd. Unagi Sayaka is going to finish her match trial match series, and yeah, I mean that's pretty much all that I have for Stardom right now. I mean, just everything is really starting to intensify as it gets closer to March 3rd. Oh, and speaking of Ruaka, they had a Stardom Rumble that she ended up winning, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, Stardom Rumble she ended up winning. So starting to give Ruaka a little bit of momentum since joining Oedo Tai. So I mean, it's good. It's good. But but yeah, that's pretty much all that I have for Stardom. I mean, I'm just looking forward to March 3rd. Should be awesome. Um, Looking at some New Japan Pro Wrestling. A couple of things before I get into running down the card for Castle Attack, which is this Saturday and Sunday. Um, Unfortunately, and I tell you, this guy just cannot seem to catch a break. Hiromu Takahashi got injured again. Had a torn pectoral, so he's gonna miss some months. And unfortunately, he had to relinquish the IWGP Jr. Heavyweight Championship. So that was really unfortunate. You know, it doesn't seem like it was that long ago that Hiromu returned and got the belt, but Hiromu's really had a rough couple of years lately. He's had a rough couple of years. So I don't know. I mean, I hope he can have a speedy recovery and come back ASAP. But I don't know, y'all. Hiromu just he's been bitten by the injury bug quite a bit. I'm just keeping it real. But hopefully he can bounce back. Hopefully he can bounce back. But just it's a tough break. It's a really, really tough break. They also recently crowned new IWGP Jr. Tag Team Champions as El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru of Suzuki Gun defeated El Phantasma and Taiji Ishimori. So those two got the tag belts back. But dang, didn't seem like Ishimori and El Phantasma had those tag titles for long. So it's like I don't know. It feels like those titles just got hot potatoed. But I mean, it is what it is. You never know what can happen during the road to shows. So I mean, stuff like that can happen, and sometimes titles are on the line. So that happens. But speaking of which, let's run down Castle Attack. So, Castle Attack. Saturday the 27th and Sunday the 28th. Right here at the end of February. So it's 2 nights. So let's kind of run down the card. So night 1, see what we got here. We got a 6-man tag match. We got Satoshi Kojima, Hiroyoshi Tenzan, and Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Empire's Jeff Cobb, Will Ospreay, and the Great O'Karn. That should be good. Should be really good. See the whole Empire in action. But yeah, that should be good. Definitely looking forward to that. You have a singles match. Yoshihashi going up against Tanga Loa of Gorillas of Destiny. Yoshihashi has really been on a tear lately ever since winning the Never Openweight 6-man tag titles. So, I have to see how he does in this match. And then you have Hiroki Goto in a singles match against Tama Tonga of the Gorillas of Destiny. So, the Never Openweight 6-man tag champs are getting busy in this first night. This is good. And I'm a Goto fan, so I definitely approve of this. We also got a KOPW 2021 match, which will be a Texas-style strap match for this KOPW trophy, as Toru Yano will defend against the Crown Jewel Chase Owens. This ought to be entertaining. You know, Toru Yano is very silly, and it shows in how he carries himself and in his matches. So this should be entertaining. I don't think it'll be a long match. Well, there's no time limit, but I think it'll be entertaining. So that should be cool. We got Tomohiro Ishii in a singles match taking on Switchblade Jay White. So that should be really good. These two, have been going at it for quite a bit since Jay White's return. And I think this will be a really, really good match. Should be hard-hitting. And then the main event will be Kazuchika Okada taking on Evil. So, no title match in the main event. Kind of weird, but that's your main event of night 1. And then night 2, and by the way, this is at the Osaka Joe Hall. All right, night 2, we got a tag team match. Satoshi Kojima Satoshi Kojima and Hiroshi Tenzan against Jeff Cobb and Will Ospreay of Empire. So that's the first match. We got a second match here. We got a 6-man tag match. We got Toru Yano, Tomohiro Ishii, and Kazuchika Okada of Chaos going up against Bullet Club's Chase Owens, Jay White, and Evil. So pretty much the matchups from the first night, but instead tag team match. 6-man tag, that is. All right. The Gorillas of Destiny are going to be defending the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles against Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto. So, hey, Yoshihashi and Hiroki Goto have a chance to get double gold. Don't think it's going to happen, but they got an opportunity to get double gold. Then we got the Never Openweight Championship match where Hiroshi Tanahashi will be making his first defense. I feel like it's been a while since he won that title. But he'll be defending it against the Great O-Khan. I don't think I've seen the Great O-Khan in a title match since first checking him out on New Japan Pro Wrestling. So this actually intrigues me. This intrigues me. I'll be keeping an eye out for this one. I don't think he'll win, but this should be an interesting matchup. And then we got a 3-way, a triple threat match for the vacant IWGP Jr. Heavyweight Championship. It'll be El Fantasma versus El Desperado versus Bushi, as Bushi was named by Hiromu Takahashi to be his replacement. And yeah, these three have the title shot. And honestly, I would love to see Bushi win it, but something tells me El Desperado is gonna win it, because I don't think this is a title he's won before. So he might actually win this title, but I'm going for Bushi. I really hope Bushi can win. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. And then the main event be the IWGP Intercontinental Championship match, where Kota Ibushi, the double title holder, will defend against Tetsuya Naito. That's right. Both aren't on the line. Just the Intercontinental title. That's all Naito wanted. I mean, who's to say Naito doesn't win that title and everything's cool again? Because honestly, I really don't like the idea of these two titles being merged together or being held together. You know what I mean? So I hope Naito wins so that Ibushi can just concentrate on being the IWGP Heavyweight Champ. That's what I would like to happen. But yeah. So 2 nights for Castle Attack, and I'll probably do a separate video for Castle Attack just to dedicate to that. So look forward to that. But that's pretty much all for New Japan Pro Wrestling. And looking at the schedule, I mean, you got the anniversary show coming up this week. And then, this coming week. And then we got the start of the New Japan Cup. So that's coming up soon as well. A lot to look forward to. New Japan Cup. And then you got Sakura Genesis. Then you got Wrestling Dontaku. Like, it's really starting to schedule things out in New Japan Pro Wrestling. A lot of exciting things. Also, just recently watched, Jon Moxley successfully defended the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship against Kenta on NJPW Strong. I gotta be honest, I did not expect him to win. I thought Kenta was going to pull it off, but it was good back and forth. but ultimately, Jon Moxley retained. So now it shocked me because it took a very long time to really build up to this. So it just now makes me wonder what's next for Moxley in this title. I mean, are we going to start to see him be able to defend it more? Will he be able to defend it on AEW? Because I mean, when you think about it, with this being defended at in LA, and with AEW mostly being in Florida, I mean, that's a lot of traveling. So I don't know. It just makes me curious what's next for Jon Moxley as far as being the IWGP US champ. Because it took a long time to get to this match. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I hope he gets a chance to really defend it more and we get to see more of this title. But that'll do it for New Japan Pro Wrestling. Want to get into some AEW. Now, so I watched more of the AEW Women's Eliminator tournament, and we almost have our whole semifinal in the books, but we know that Yuka Sakazaki defeated Emi Sakura, which was a really good match. And honestly, I thought Emi was going to pull it off, even though I was going for Yuka Sakazaki. But that was a great match, and Yuka Sakazaki has made it to the semifinals. And Ryo Mizunami defeated Aja Kong by countout. She got her with that leg drop across her head on the apron, and she was done for. And honestly, I did not expect that at all. So, the semifinals for the Japan side will be Ryo Mizunami versus Yuka Sakazaki. And then you had the US side. You had Nyla Rose versus Britt Baker. And this was where my bracket got busted. I honestly originally picked Britt Baker to win this tournament and finally get her title match against Shida. But Nyla Rose withstood the onslaught and was able to get the victory on Britt Baker. And it was crazy back and forth. I mean, Britt Baker even kicked out of the Beast Bomb. And I thought right then and there Britt Baker was going to somehow win it. And she had at least, 2 or 3 attempts to lock in Lockjaw on Nyla Rose and almost had it. But Nyla Rose powered through everything and was able to get the victory. It just makes me wonder now, like, I'll be honest, if this ends up being Nyla Rose versus Shida again at Revolution, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset. Because she's already had 2 opportunities against Shida. Lost both times. So, I mean, I don't know. I just really feel like we need to see something different. And I originally thought it was going to be Britt Baker, but since she's eliminated, and then we know that Nyla Rose will face the winner between Thunder Rosa and Riho. Which means we could potentially get Riho versus Nyla Rose again. For the 3rd time, when you think about it, because the first time Riho beat Nyla to become the inaugural AEW Women's Champion. The 2nd time, Nyla Rose won the title from Riho. So they could potentially meet in the semifinals. And Riho just returned. So it'll be interesting. It'll really be interesting to see what happens here. Um, with Kenny Omega helping and organizing this tournament and Shida helping picking the talent for this tournament for the Japan side, I mean, who's to say we don't see, I don't know, Shida versus Riho in the finals? I mean, we have to remember Riho originally beat Shida to make it to the finals of the inaugural AEW Women's Championship tournament. So we could see a repeat of that, which would be a great match. But I am under the impression that whoever makes it to the finals and wins this tournament will end up dethroning Shida. That's what I think is going to happen. I'll be very shocked if Shida retains after AEW Revolution. So, so I believe this coming Sunday and Monday will have everything completed, and then Dynamite will have the actual finals match to determine who will face Shida next Sunday. So it should be good. It should be good. But wow. My bracket got busted. But it's all good. It's all good. I just thought that was really funny. But yeah, other than that, just looking at AEW, had a really, really awesome match between Rey Fenix and the Murder Hawk monster Lance Archer, which was a Face of the Revolution ladder match qualifier. It was actually back and forth, and just Rey Fenix, that dude is insane with the high flying and the quickness. Like, I mean, I know I watched a lot of Phoenix back in Lucha Underground, so I know what he's capable of, but goodness gracious. This dude he really could do well in a singles run in AEW. So, I mean, dude is excellent in the ring. And I did like the sign of respect at the end, the fist bump from Lance Archer. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. And then apparently the big announcement, the Big Show, who is known as Paul Wight, has joined AEW. He is legit all elite now. And apparently he's going to be scheduled to do commentary for their upcoming, they got an upcoming show, AEW Dark. I think it's called Revelation or something like. It's supposed to be another. It's supposed to be another segment or another show, kind of like AEW Dark, but I think it's going to be another show where it's supposed to, I guess, showcase I guess the typical jobbers. This will be for them. The newbies, this will really be for them. A show dedicated to that. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. I mean, with already what they've been doing with AEW Dark, it makes me wonder what's really gonna, I don't know, set this aside from AEW Dark and Dynamite. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely curious. I'm very curious with how this goes. Oh, Elevation. AEW Dark Elevation. So, YouTube extension. I got it. So, AEW Dark Elevation. So, apparently, Paul Wight's pretty much going to be the main commentator for this new show. So, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing and they still have to reveal his commentary partner. They don't know that yet, so that'll be interesting. So, looking forward to it. This AEW Dark Elevation with Paul Wight as a member of the commentary team. Which, like I said, I did not see that coming because I didn't even know that Paul Wight, aka The Big Show, was out of his contract at WWE. I didn't know his contract had ended. So that really just shocked the mess out of me. But I mean, those were pretty much the main things that stood out for me with AEW this week. But you know, they got a couple of things left to do. You know, still build up for the go home show next week. Get caught up in the AEW Women's Eliminator Tournament, so we can get the finals good and out. But AEW Revolution should be really good. Should be really, really good. But yep. That does it for AEW. And now looking at some WWE, which, I mean, starting out, I'm really curious as to what's going to happen with Retribution. They've been losing matches, and Mustafa Ali has been pretty upset with the group, which I'm glad Mia Yim is back. But honestly, something's got to give. Like, I just feel like this whole stable has not really worked well. And I don't know. I don't know. Retribution just is not appealing to me anymore. It's really not. Because really, you got some folks in there like Mia Yim, Mustafa Ali, T-Bar, aka Donovan Dijakovic, that are capable of shining as single stars. And just, with them being in this group, just doesn't help their stake. So, I don't know. That's just my thoughts on it. But I'm just really not liking Retribution. I just don't. But, Damian Priest has been undefeated so far since getting on the main roster. So they just riding that momentum. Even though they could have come up with a better name to change his finisher. They went from the Reckoning to Hit the Lights. Really? Hit the Lights? That's a cheesy name for a finisher. For that Crossroads finisher. Hit the Lights? Come on now. That's a cheesy name. Let's not even play. Let's not even play. That's such a cheesy name. But there was a backstage segment after Asuka and Charlotte lost to Shayna Baszler and Nia, which I hope that Asuka was okay. Apparently the reports was she got kicked in the face and a tooth knocked out by Shayna. Which Shayna, I could tell that she immediately went down and clutched Asuka to make sure she was okay, to check if she was okay. Thankfully, she was still able to finish the match, but you could tell Asuka was a little loopy after that. And apparently, word is Shayna was trying to kick Asuka in her arm, but Asuka, I guess, turned her head at the last second and ended up eating the kick and getting a tooth knocked out. So it was definitely clearly an accident. But the crazy thing about that is Nia Jax has now pinned both Raw and SmackDown's women's champions in tag matches. Like, the heck? I mean, it's already bad enough that, if I remember correctly, it's been a while. I mean, aside from Alexa, it's really been a while since Asuka has really defended that title, especially on the pay per view, which I believe the last time that happened was September of last year. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It may have been later than that, but she can't buy a storyline. And it's ridiculous. But there's a backstage segment with Charlotte and Ric Flair. And of course, in that match, Charlotte inadvertently kicked Asuka. So it looks like they're pretty much done. But Charlotte pretty much gave a big speech for Ric Flair to go home. I need to be myself, Charlotte Flair. I need to find out who I am and be who I am. And pretty much, she doesn't want her father around. You could feel that. You could feel that promo. But if you ask me, I do think, and word has it, it's going to eventually lead to a Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. I really don't like the sound of that, but I'm at the point where, regardless of who it is, I do not see Asuka leaving WrestleMania as champion. I just don't see it. As much as she needs to win that match, I just don't see it. She can't even buy a storyline. So it's just really sad. It's really sad. It's really ridiculous. I don't know. I don't know. And then Braun Strowman had an opportunity, and Braun Strowman had to defeat Bobby Lashley in order to get a title shot, which is owed to Bobby Lashley from The Miz because they had the deal and everything. And Braun Strowman got obliterated and lost clean to Bobby Lashley. So, I mean, something's definitely going to be building up for Bobby Lashley in this WWE title picture. Now, I don't see him winning next week because I'm pretty sure Miz and Morrison is going to get involved and cheat. But who knows? Who knows? But we'll have to see what happens. But I don't know. Raw was kind of bland, to be honest with you. It was really kind of bland. NXT was good. NXT was pretty good. I was definitely shocked that Zoe Stark had a match with Io Shirai. I thought Toni Storm was going to interfere, but Io Shirai got the victory, clean. And I just felt like, they just really started showing off and showcasing Zoe Stark. I figured they would have given her a couple of matches before the thought of her facing Io Shirai would come up. So that booking decision was kind of weird. But in 2 weeks, we're getting Toni Storm versus Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. So definitely looking forward to that. These two have quite a score to settle. So looking forward to that. You're doing some good build up to that. So should be good. Should be really good. I gotta give shout out to Cameron Grimes, who's a North Carolina native, like myself. with just him doing the whole Ted DiBiase bounce the basketball 10 times with some random folks was just was just silly and entertaining. But I'm really happy for him. I got a chance to see him in action when he was Trevor Lee back in Chikara, and I'm definitely a Cameron Grimes fan. Definitely got to show love for my North Carolinian wrestlers. So good stuff. Good stuff. Um, I couldn't help but notice that Indy Hartwell was kind of digging Dexter Loomis during his match with Johnny Gargano, which, with him getting the victory, I'm pretty sure he's going to be inserted into the title picture and probably will get the next North American Championship title shot. But we'll see how that goes. But definitely an interesting term of events with him and Austin Theory and Indy Hartwell. And Indy Hartwell, she was kind of doing the call me, which, Indy Hartwell, that's a beautiful woman. Xia Li pretty much destroyed Casey Catanzaro near the end, but Casey was carrying her own and actually giving some good offense to Xia Li. This was not an easy victory for Xia Li, which, near the end, jacked her up to the point where they had to call the referee stopped the match and awarded her the victory. But we'll see if maybe Kaden Carter will get the next opportunity against Xia Li. But Xia Li's been on a tear since this new repackaging, this character change, and who knows? Maybe eventually she'll be in the title picture. It's very possible, very very possible. But and of course we had the street fight with Karrion Kross versus Santos Escobar, which of course Walking Wild and Raul Mendoza did all they could to help him win that match, but was not good enough, and Karrion Kross was able to get the victory. And I don't know if they have a finisher name for his running forearm, but that was a pretty sick Doomsday Saito on the through the announce table. I thought that was a pretty sick spot, and just how Karrion Kross just destroyed the other two. But it was a good match. It was back and forth. They gave Karrion Kross all that they could give him, and it was working. But let's be honest. We knew Karrion Kross wasn't going to lose this match. They made it believable, but we knew he wasn't going to lose this match. I don't even see the point of the original match booking in the first place. What I don't really understand what the whole point of putting Karrion Kross versus Santos Escobar into the midst. So, I mean, now that this is over with, I hope that they can refocus back on Karrion Kross in the main title picture, because this was, while it was a good match, it just made no sense them doing this. So I don't know, maybe it's just me, but of course Adam Cole was the big piece of news as well. Adam Cole coming out to supposedly apologize and feel remorseful for taking out Kyle O'Reilly, which, I mean, let's be honest, was a bunch of crap. And Roderick Strong, Roddy versus the World, came out to confront him about it. And then that ended up turning into Finn Balor coming down to attack Adam Cole. Roderick Strong, they took him out. And then Roderick Strong clotheslined Adam Cole, which I guess was unintentional. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. just with the way it looked. They apologized. Adam Cole had the crocodile tears, and then suckered him in, gave him the low blow. Another super kick for good measure, and that's the end of the Undisputed Era. And honestly, I know a lot of people are mad about this, and I get it. A lot of people are mad about this, but it was bound to happen. You know, as they say, all good things eventually have to come to an end. And it was only a matter of time for the implosion of the Undisputed Era. It was only a matter of time. This group had a great run. A great run. I mean, this group together won each of the NXT titles. You know, they even had 4 NXT titles at once. So, I mean, you know, that's a big deal. You know, they fulfilled the golden prophecy. Definitely, you know, tag team of the year two years in a row. Like, this group, it's safe to say, one of the most dominant factions ever in NXT history. You know, not even the Wyatt family or Sanity even come close to what the Undisputed Era has done. I mean, the Shield is questionable, but I feel like the Undisputed Era is the most dominant faction in NXT history. But, you know, it had to eventually come to an end. And I get it. I definitely get it. But, you know, Kyle O'Reilly, they say he won't be cleared for 4 to 6 weeks. So, there's no telling when he's going to be back. And I'm sure Bobby Fish, there's no telling even when Bobby Fish is going to return. And you know, him and Kyle O'Reilly, you know, they're tag team partners. And Roddy versus the World, I mean, I'm sure they're going to feud for a bit. But when it all comes down to it, Adam Cole wants that NXT championship again. He wants that title. But hey, I mean, look on the bright side. At least this potentially still keeps them in NXT, just not as the Undisputed Era anymore. And I'm okay with that. So, we'll see how that goes. We'll definitely see how that goes going forward. But, RIP, Undisputed Era. Y'all had a great run. But when it's over, it's over. And guess what? It's over. That was from Arena. Old movie. We also crowned new NXT UK Tag Team Champions, as Pretty Deadly have dethroned Gallus' Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. I'm definitely cool with this. You know, I felt like it was time for a new tag team champions, although I really, really wish that they were still on Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, but that's just me. But I think they were great tag team champions and should have had the belts longer. But then again, now that I think about it, Mustache Mountain should have had those belts at least once, but it didn't happen. But yeah, Pretty Deadly got the victory. It was a good match, and I definitely think they've earned those titles. And it was definitely time to see something new, and that's what they did. And I know we had there was a match where the stipulation was between Xia Brookside and Nina Samuels. The loser would have to wait on the other person and be the personal assistant, and carry their bags and all that for a whole month. And Xia Brookside won. I did not think that was going to happen, to be honest with you. But it was a good win. And Nina Samuels. Oh, man. Poor Nina Samuels. But hey, this was good for Xia Brookside, though. She seemed to be on the losing end quite a bit lately, so it was good to see her pick up this victory. And then, oh yeah, we also had Aoife Valkyrie in action, which she got another victory. And honestly, I still don't understand this. Next week, Meiko Satomura gets the title shot for the NXT UK Women's Championship against Kaylee Ray. But let's remember, Aoife Valkyrie is still undefeated. She hasn't lost yet. Why doesn't she get the title shot? That still bothers me. Don't get me wrong, I love Meiko Satomura. I'm glad she's here. But one match in, and then already she gets a title shot? Aoife Valkyrie's been like 6 or 7 matches in and hasn't lost. And she doesn't get a title shot? She should be like the first in line. So, I guess she'll have to wait until after Meiko gets her shot. But realistically, Aoife Valkyrie should get a title shot. But who knows? Maybe Meiko is who they want to dethrone Kaylee Ray. And I get that. I do get that. Just, I hope afterwards Aoife Valkyrie gets the next title shot. She's undefeated, so it only makes sense. But that's all I really have for NXT UK. And then Smackdown, which Smackdown, really the only thing that stood out to me was the decision. So Bianca Belair has chosen Sasha Banks, which, I mean, it was kind of an easy decision. I mean, we all could have guessed that one, that it was going to be Sasha Banks. But this is big, y'all. This will be history making. 2 sisters duking it out on the grandest stage of them all, WrestleMania, for a major women's title. 2 sisters. This is going to be big, and I really, really hope they give Sasha and Bianca plenty of time, like at least 20 minutes. That's the minimum. That should be the minimum. And I'm also hoping that, personally, I think they should be the main event of night 1. I think they should be the main event of night 1. With a big, big historic match as that should be the main event for night 1 of WrestleMania. Of course, WrestleMania is going to be 2 nights. It's going to be Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, I really hope they make the SmackDown Women's Championship match the main event of night 1. I think it deserves it. I think that would be big. So Vince, make that happen. Do the right thing. I think that'd be big. But it'll be interesting to see how the build-up goes for Fastlane. Daniel Bryan had an opportunity to get the title shot for Fastlane if he were to beat Jey Uso, which he didn't. It ended in a double countout. So, guess with that ending in a double countout, I guess he doesn't. Guess he doesn't get the match. So, it'll be interesting to see what they do next. Because, I mean, it would have been easy to think that, oh, Daniel Bryan's going to win this and get the title shot at Fastlane. But no, that didn't happen. So, but I really hope they do start building up for Fastlane and get that going. But at least we know now both Royal Rumble winners who they're challenging. Edge is challenging Roman Reigns. Bianca Belair is challenging Sasha Banks. So wow, both Royal Rumble winners are challenging the SmackDown champions. So go figure. But but yeah, I really do hope they do something with Asuka. I really do. Because this is ridiculous. It's really, really ridiculous. But that's pretty much all that I have for this week's pro wrestling talk. Um like I said, I will most likely do a separate video just looking back at Castle Attack from New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'll also do a separate video for All Star Dream Cinderella when I get a chance to watch it in its entirety. But but yeah, and then we got another week, and then we got AEW Revolution. So I'm looking forward to doing video on that. But yeah, a lot to look forward to for pro wrestling. But anyway, that'll do it for this episode of Pro Wrestling Talk. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any video. Hope everybody has a blessed weekend, and I will see y'all soon. Peace.